Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Trina. Today's video is going to be a very quick video because I am going to be just running through all of the 20 books that I want to include in my quarter 4 TBR. Did I take a video, film a video of my quarter 1, 2, or 3? Probably I did not. I do not recall, but I want to do this because this is like my reference video going forward to the remaining 3 months of the year to step up and wrap up some of these challenges that I have, and these books in particular that I really want to read this year because I've been putting them off, and I'm going to show you guys what they are. So I do have a couple of books there to the side, but if I don't have the physical copy, I do have the covers here on my phone just so that I could show you the cover without editing it in. Saves me time, I guess. So the 20 books that I want to read by the end of 2025, before 2026, are the first one being Lovely War by Julie Berry. This is one of my 26 books before 2026 list. Majority of these are like my 26 books before 2026 list that I have not gone through yet or even touched yet. The second one is Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drew. A little bit of like cozy, autumnal, spooky sort of eldritch being story for the month of October, November, which I think is quite fitting. Next is The Thousandth Floor by Catherine McGee. Next is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by my favorite V. Schwab. I have been pushing this off for quite a bit. I don't know why. I really love V. Schwab when it comes to her series, but for her standalone, I think either I'm trying to savor it or I'm just too afraid. I'm not sure why, but I think I'm so late into reading this book, if I'm being honest. But I heard it's like toxic lesbian vampire is what I see on TikTok and YouTube talking about this book, and since it's like a very much vampire-ish vibe, I believe that it is the perfect time to read it come October and November. Next is Imaginary Friends by Steven Chbosky. I hope I'm saying that right, but this is a very long book. I believe this is like 600 or 700 pages long, and I am doing Her Kid, and I want this to be like my 700 plus pages. If not, then it's probably Prairie of the Orange Tree, but I want this to be the 700 plus pages for my Her Kid for now. It's part of my 26 books in 2026, so two birds, one stone, basically. And then the last one from my 26 books before 2026 is I did not take the cover, I'm sorry. It's The Ministry of Time by Kalyani Bradley. I'm going to put the picture on the screen. I don't have time anymore to search for the cover for now. I'll do that when I edit. The next one now is like some of my, what do you call this, physical copies. So the first one being Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux. I have my physical copy here from Timeless Books. Yeah, Timeless Books. Very cheap copy. Want to finally get to reading Phantom of the Opera. The second one being The Night Gate by Peter May. I do have a physical copy of this, but I left it at the office, so I do have a cover of it here. The next one is the Transall Saga by Gary Paulsen. I enjoyed Gary Paulsen's Brian's adventure series when I was like younger in high school, and I just saw this at a thrift shop and picked it up. It feels like the same sort of vibes as Brian's adventure, so I do want to read that. And then the next one is another physical copy. I bought this early this year. It is the Dark Vault. This was so heavy for if you use one hand. V. Schwab. The Dark Vault. This is basically the archive. What do you call this? Archive duology plus a bonus story. So this is basically 2 books and a novella in 1 book, and it was like, this is a steal. This is a steal. I got this when I went to Manila, and I'm pretty happy. I basically put this in my backpack going home, and it was so heavy, but I was so happy that I found it, and yeah, it was a steal. The next 2 are the last 2 books in the Trials of Apollo series by Rick Riordan. I don't have a physical of this, so it's The Tyrant's Tomb and The Tower of Nero, books 4 and 5, to finish off the series so that I could finally read the other one that is in my physical TBR, which is The Sun and the Star, which is a Nico D'Angelo and Will Solis story or adventure. This happens after whatever happened in the Trials of Apollo, and as you can see here, I started tabbing it on the side. It is because I started reading this, and then I realized that there are spoilers at like the very beginning of the book on what happened at the end of Trials of Apollo, and it's kind of a bit of a major spoiler because Will Solis here is a son of Apollo, and something happened to him. I don't know how, because it like follows the end of the Trials of Apollo, which is the Tower of Nero. So I need to finish this series first before I could read The Sun and the Star. I bought this basically last year on my birthday, so this is like 1 year in my shelf now, coming October. So I want to get this done. The next one is The Parable of the Talents by Octavia E. Butler. This is so that I could finish off the Earthseed series. I technically did not enjoy as much The Parable of the Sower because it's kind of like, I feel very depressed after reading Parable of the Sower, but I'm still kind of interested where the story is going to, or if there's a new main character in The Parable of the Talents. So yeah, I'm still interested, and I still want to continue and finish off this duology. And then the next one, Thornhedge by T. Fisher. This one is a novella. I don't know which T. Fisher tends to do like retellings of old fairy tales, giving them a little bit of a darker, more horrific twist, with their characters being a little bit older, like women in their 30s, very much put together, strong, but still going on these adventures that they are new to and trying to learn new things and also kind of falling in love. And I really like those types of stories of like older women trying out new things and going on an adventure despite like they're not their conventional age demographic, I guess, of like adventure stories, wherein we tend to see fantasy adventure books having like teens and young adults. I like a fantasy story with like 26 to 35-year-old men or women or whatever gender they are, going on these adventures and maybe even falling in love. I love those stories. So I'm adding Thornhedge to the TBR for Q4. The next one is American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. This is a buddy read for me and my friend. We talked about it and she wanted to add American Psycho to the list. And then the next one, I'm just making this fast, Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wang. I heard so many good things about this book. A friend of mine, a schoolmate of mine actually, who reviews a lot of books in her page on Facebook, she said that this has a very well-written female main character, and I was sold. Basically, any book with a well-written female main character that isn't whiny, I'm all for it. I want to read those types of books. And then the next one is Our Crooked Hearts by Melissa Albert. This was also a recommendation by a friend. Abby said that it was quite chaotic. And anytime we see a book with like a bunny on the cover or like bunnies, we bonded over Bunny by Mona Awad. That was like the first ever book we buddy read. And anytime there's like a horror, psychological horror, strange book with a bunny, we tend to want to read it. And I think we're going to buddy read We Love You Bunny as well, which is like a sequel. Was it a sequel to the first Bunny book? But for now, I'm going to deal with this one because she already finished reading this, and I think she already passed it on to her best friend. So I do have a digital copy of this and want to read it, and we could discuss. And then last from the books that I don't have physically, The Christmas Murder Game. I wanted to add like a sort of Christmassy book. Last year, I did a reading vlog wherein I read horror and murder mystery Christmas books for a week. That was like my Christmas week reading vlog, and I wanted to add this for old time's sake, I guess. Christmas Murder Game by Alexandra Benedict. Don't know anything about it, kind of low rating if I'm being honest, but I do want like a Christmassy sort of mystery book to add to the TBR because I don't tend to read a lot of Christmas books anyway, so this might be one that I would read for the Christmas week. And then the last book, the 20th book, is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I did add this actually to my TBR Q3 TBR list, and I didn't get around to it, but I am going to add this to next month's TBR. Basically, I bought this during Big Bad Wolf book sale, and I was so happy that there is one last book left of this. It's like the last copy, and yeah, I wanted to read this physically. I have read The Women by Kristen Hanna and really loved it, so I'm pretty excited. So those are all of the books that I am adding to my Q4 TBR, plus the Nightgate by Peter May. This is all of the physical books that I have. I should probably zoom you guys out. There we go. 6 physical, 14 digital, and yeah, we'll see. I'm going to check in at the end of the year all of the books that I've included in my quarterly TBR to see which of them I have not yet tried touch or maybe DNF, soft DNF in the middle of it, and just want to see how much of the list that I am able to knock out before the year ends, before 2026 comes. And yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this very quick run through of all of the books that I want to read and catch up on until the end of the year. And I will see you in the next video. So until then, guys, take care and bye-bye.